Over the past few months, things have been developing very quickly for the conservatorship that Britney Spears has been suffering under for a number of years. More and more revelations of the conditions, her own testimony, details of the corruption and controlling behavior of her father, documentaries coming out. Well, we have a development. In a major victory for the pop star, a judge on Wednesday suspended the singer's father from the conservatorship that has controlled her life and money for 13 years, saying the arrangement reflects a toxic environment. And bear in mind, back in June, she had said, "I am traumatized," asking for those overseeing the conservatorship to be investigated and jailed, and singling out her father as the one who approved all of it. And so we'll have some from the judge. But Bridget, I'm not sure if we've talked about this together on the show before, but what do you make of this most recent development?
I'm happy. I think that it's obvious that this conservatorship is toxic, is just some of the lines that have been crossed in her life are just unfathomable. And so I think one step closer to her being free and be able to make her own decisions is great. I think the more you find out about the kind of things that go on in this conservatorship, the more it's obvious that it is completely just unacceptable. The way that her father had used high-tech surveillance against her, they bugged her bedroom. And so any conversation she was having with her lover in her bedroom, he heard, he got audio tapes of, not being able to make her own reproductive choices. Like, this issue hits so many intersections of things that we really should care about.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm glad that there's been much more transparency about it. Like, I don't remember exactly when it started, but as of just a few years ago, I don't remember really hearing basically anything about any of this. And in theory, the information was available. I don't know what exactly changed that suddenly it started to get out. But I'm glad that it did. I watched that most recent documentary about it. The bugging of her bedroom in particular, like the fact that the father would be a party to that is just absolutely disgusting. Let alone just basically treating her as like a money sponge. Like, he's just trying to get money from her. That's it. And he doesn't care what happens to her, making her go to like mental health rehab because she wanted to take some time off of working. Like, there's a lot of details there. By the way, I'm having people in the chat that are asking if the judge is making a pun with the toxic thing. No, I do not believe that the judge is making a pun, if I had to guess. But the only other thing I really want to say is people believe that the about face by the father and by the legal team of the father is less about acknowledging what has gone wrong and wanting to finally do what's right for Britney, and more about sort of protecting himself from liability. And I will say, I hope that does not work, because it sounds like there's quite a bit of illegal activity that was going on. He should not be able to just walk off, likely with millions of her dollars. He definitely needs to be investigated, and not just him, but foremost amongst all of them, the father definitely needs to be investigated. Any final thoughts?
Completely agree. I think that he's trying to cover his butt and walk away from this and have people not ask too many questions. And I think that's completely unacceptable. I think that there needs to be a deep investigation about how this woman was taken advantage of and by who for so long.
Yeah, and I hope like this might be the individual, like sort of worst high profile abuse of the conservatorship thing. But I really hope that this causes our country, the judicial system, to take a second look at this for other people who don't necessarily have the high profile of a Britney Spears, but are otherwise being taken advantage of. I know there was a movie about this recently, and John Oliver did a great episode about the conservator thing, but this should not end with just freeing Britney, even though that is objectively a good thing. And by the way, like a lot of people, we saw the thing that she put on Instagram. It was like a photo of her in a plane and her saying that she's on cloud 9 as a result of it. That's obviously great news, and love that.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.